Welcome you all my esteemed viewers to my channel. Thank you so much for supporting this channel. Thank you so much for coming around to view our post. Thank you so much for your subscription. Please, if you have not subscribed to this channel, please do so before the end of this video so as to continue to support this channel. Thank you so much. I really appreciate everything you do to support us. So in today's tutorial, I'm going to be teaching us how to make a shirting, a button shirt. Okay, so this button shirt is unisex, can be worn by a boy or a girl, and it's going to have collar, shirt collar. So I have my vintage fabric here. This is what I'm using, and I'm making use of 1 yard of this fabric. So I've gone ahead to get my pattern papers ready, and I've ruled out our important lines. So you'll be needing your shoulder measurement, your chest measurement, your waist measurement, and your full length. Okay, so this one here is the front pattern and this is the back pattern. So I'm also going to remove my starting line and my allowance. I'm using 2 inches for my allowance, so this is my allowance. So what I did here, what I used to cut out this the wideness of this paper is the biggest part of the body. That is the biggest circumference of the body. You use it after dividing it by 4. You add like 5 inches allowance. Okay, so that is what I used to get my paper. So I'm going to place this front paper on top of the back paper. But before I do that, I want you to take note of the fact that I folded 2 inches inwards on the front paper. I folded 2 inches, and this 2 inches is for our bottom allowance. Okay, so after doing that, I'm going to place the front pattern on top of the back pattern. If you notice here, if you look here, you will see that the back pattern is longer than the front pattern with 3 inches. So you can make use of 2 inches if you want, but for the purpose of this tutorial, I am making use of 3 inches. So make your back pattern longer with 3 inches than the front pattern. So after placing the front pattern on the back pattern, you are going to go ahead to make sure you pin it down, stabilize it. So after doing that, you go ahead and measure 1.5 inches here. So go ahead and measure 1.5 inches starting from your starting line. So after doing that, you determine the length, the wideness of the neck you're using, as in your the neck width that you'll be working with. So because I am making this for a child, I'll be making use of 2.275. okay, so I'm making use of 2.25 basically. Okay, that's what I'm making use of here for my neck width, making use of 2.25 of an inch. Okay, so go ahead and get your shoulders width from that point. Rule it down to that 1.5 inch you came down. After that, we are going to cut it out. So after cutting it out, I'm going to go ahead to take it back downwards so that it will become equal with the front again. And after doing that, I will arrange the front pattern on top of the back pattern in a way that the front pattern is longer with 1/4 inch. Okay, so go in by 1/4 inch at this folded point, as you see me do, and make the front and the back pattern equal. So in essence, you are trying to make the front pattern longer or wider than the back pattern with 1/4 inch. That is what I'm trying to do here. This is so that when you button your shirt, the seam line or the line at your armhole, the seam line there doesn't shift. Okay, So that is what I'm going to do, and after that I'll pin it down. So after pinning it down, I'm going to go ahead to overlap the back shoulder on the front shoulder. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and overlap this back shoulder to the front shoulder. So you see, after overlapping it, you find out that you have 1.5 of an inch. Okay, 1.5 of an inch is what you have after overlapping the back shoulder on the front shoulder. And after doing this, we are going to retrace the neckline, the neck width we measured earlier. Retrace it on this back shoulder. Okay, so that is what I have done. So after doing that, you come in by 1/2 of an inch here. Just look at what I'm doing, you understand. Just come in by 1/2 of an inch and connect as I'm doing. Connect it this way, curve it to this folded line. So after doing that, you go ahead and unpin. So go ahead and unpin and go to your front neckline. I'll be using neck depth of 1 inch. The reason being that we already have 1.5 inch here. So if you add that 1.5 inch to this 1 inch here, you'll be having 2.5 inch in total. Okay, so just go ahead and use 1 inch. It will be very okay. So after I'm going to connect it like you see me do. Go ahead and connect it like you see me do. Okay, so after connecting it, we are going to go ahead to return our shoulder, our back shoulder on top of the front shoulder. Go ahead and overlap it back. Okay, so after doing that, then we'll get our armhole measurements. Okay, so I'm going to be using 8 inches, okay, for my armhole line, and that basically is this chest line I've drawn earlier. So go ahead and use 8 inches. Okay, go ahead and measure the same 8 inch you use for your shoulder measurement divided by 2. Okay, that same 8 inches you got from your shoulder measurement divided by 2, go ahead and rule it into a straight line for your armhole. Okay, now note that we have already curved our armhole shoulder slope, so no need of curving anything again. So you go ahead and measure what you have and get the midpoint. The midpoint of this 8 is 4. So you also come in on the front pattern by 1/2 inch. So go ahead and take your bust circumference. So take your bust circumference divided by 4. So I'll be making use of 7 and 8.5. That is what I'll be making use of. 8.5. So go ahead and connect it to this 1/2 inch you came in. Okay, go ahead and connect it. Just watch the way I'm doing it, so you understand better. Go ahead and connect it, and after connecting it, this becomes our front armhole. Okay, this will become our front armhole. So the next thing we're going to do, we're going to put all our round measurements. Okay, so I'm going to impute my waist measurements. I've been working with waist measurement of 7.5 inches. Note that male children are not really curvy at the mid size, so you don't go in much. But for the fact that you already have the measurements you are working with, is the best. So I will come down to the hip line. I'm going to also put my 8.5. Okay, so after doing that, I want to also connect. After connecting, I will put my allowance. I want to get my allowance on this paper, so I'll use allowance of 1 inch. It's okay. Allowance of 1 inch is okay because you don't need that and you don't need lining, so there will be no need for much allowance. Okay, So just go ahead and add allowance of 1 inch. If you like, you can add it up to your pattern. If you like, you can add it up on your fabric. Okay, so anyone you choose is okay. So after doing that, if you choose, you can curve the shirt, but mine I won't be curving. But in case you want to curve the shirt, you can go up by 3.5 or 4 inch and connect it. Measure the half of what you have here, get the midpoint and curve from there. That is if you choose to make the shirt curvy. But mine, I won't be making it curvy because it's going to open here. Okay, I'm going to leave it open here, so that is why I won't be curving it out. But in case you choose to curve it out, just go ahead and connect this line as you see me do here. Okay, so but I don't want to do that. I prefer to leave it open. So I'm going to go ahead and cut out our back armhole first before the front end. So I'll go ahead and cut the back armhole. So after cutting out the back armhole, I want to cut out the front neckline, both of them. So what you are going to do is that from this folded part of the back shoulder, just from the lapping, from this beginning of the fold, okay, just go ahead and split it on top of this cup. Just watch the way I'm going to do it, you understand. This is exactly how you are going to do it. So this is how you are going to cut it out. Okay, this is how you cut it. All right, then note that you are not going to cut out the back again. I had already cut out the back, so just raise the front pattern up and go ahead and cut it out. Okay, so this is what we have. This is how it should look like after cutting it. All right, so I'll just go ahead and cut out the remaining parts of the measurement. So that is all for our shirt drafting. Okay, that is all for our shirt drafting. So now that you have finished drafting your shirt, you are going to, after cutting it on your fabric, the next thing you are going to do is that you are going to bring in the front fabric and sew up your button allowance. So these 2 inches now that we allocated for our button allowance, go ahead, fold the first 1 inch inside. Okay, then you're going to sew it on your after sewing, then you place it on top like this. Okay, place it on top like this, then go ahead and sew on top. But if you don't want to sew on top, want to make it neater, use your hemming gun and hem it properly. And if you don't know how to use your hemming gun to hem, you can watch my previous tutorial. I already made a video on how to use your hemming gun to hem your fabric properly so that it comes out neater and nicer. So this is how you are going to hem it, irrespective of what you'll be using. If you be hemming with your stitch, it's okay. If you are using hemming gun, it's okay. Alright, so after doing that, you know that this your front pattern, you cut it into 2. Okay, you have 2 of this. Alright, so it's because of I'm just using this to illustrate what you be doing. That's why I cut it. I just cut 1. So but cut it into 2. This, as in this, you have 2 pieces of this, and after that you go ahead and join the shoulders. Okay, you join the front shoulder with the back shoulder and also the other side. You know that this one will be on fold. Okay, this back is going to be on fold. This is basically the center back. Okay, it's going to be on fold when cutting. So I'm just trying to demonstrate how you are going to join it. This one cuts 2 pieces, then this one you fold the edge, then cut. By so doing, when you open it, it's going to be times 2 of this, but it's not going to be in pieces. So after doing that, you join your shoulder together. Note, you won't be piping the neckline with anything because we're going to put our collar. So after joining the shoulder, you will notice that the shoulder will fall. Okay, let me use my pin to demonstrate to you what I'm trying to say, how you're going to join it, especially if you're having challenge with joining it. But if you try to join it on your own and you are still having issue with it, please, you can comment on my comment section so that I will make another video for the sewing tutorial. Okay, so when you join shoulder with the back shoulder, this is what you should have. Okay, this is what you should have. All right, then when you have this, you can go ahead and trim the remaining part of the neckline. Just trim it, connect it back. Okay, if you want. Right, so this is how it should look like after joining. You see that when you measure what you have here, you see that it's now 2.5 inches. So that will be all for the tutorial.